and welcome to the podcast. I'm Marisa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
If you like your podcasts without those mature themes and that pesky sailor talk, head on over to her very own podcast, Unlocked, where they talk to people about things.
And stuff.
Usually
it has to do with Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
Yeah, typically. Yeah.
Usually. I think. So this week we actually got iTunes reviews.
Woohoo!
Which is very exciting. So Time to Slay left us a review and says, if none of your friends play Nancy Drew games, then listen to this podcast. I've played Nancy Drew games since I was 10. I'm now approaching 30. And unfortunately, none of my friends play these games. So listening to this podcast is about as close as I can get to geeking out about all things Nancy with my friends. And maybe someday Risa and Ariana will get the chance to review Midnight in Salem. Jury's still out. So, thank you.
Good. I'm glad it feels that way, because that's exactly what we're going for.
Exactly. So, what are we going to talk about today, Ariana?
Today we are going to talk about the best villains with the most interesting, for whatever reason, motives.
Yes, this topic was suggested to us by GHD is good from Discord, so thank you. So we are going to talk about what we think of our favorite villain motives. Like, maybe some of these villains are not our favorites, but their motives are cool. And we like that.
They're cool, or something we can sympathize with, or they're insane, or
and
they really
it.
Tug at the heartstrings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Ariana, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Okay.
These are in no specific order.
We didn't feel like ranking everybody because it was like too difficult. Yeah. So my first one I'd like to bring up, maybe controversial, but it's Soren from Sea of Darkness. Hear me out, okay?
We're gonna say that a couple times.
we feel like we need to stop you guys and justify ourselves, even though you're listening to a recording and stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So hear me out. He's not driven by greed or anything like that. He is driven by his love of history and the fact that he just wants to be accepted in this town that literally only hates him because he wasn't born there. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that he can do. There's nothing he can do. It doesn't matter how nice he is. It doesn't matter how much he brings in for this town. He is just gonna always be hated.
Yeah.
And if that isn't a breaking point that we've all felt, like, just those people who just hate you for no reason, you're like, why are you being mean to me? You know? I feel like Soren is a very relatable character. And
yeah.
He's good, and I'm always fond of a sympathetic bad guy, but he's like a bumbling sympathetic bad guy. You know, his most villainous moment is when he kidnaps Magnus, and even that's just him panicking and being like, "Well, I guess I'm a kidnapper now," and it's just he's just done. His entire motive is just being done.
I mean, he does leave us to die.
Yeah, but it's basically like. And even then, he says, I hope you can find your way back.
You know. By the time you find your way out, I'll be long gone. It'll be fine.
But yeah. He's just...
Soren.
Apparently, I could go on forever about Soren, as long as I'm not listening to him and watching him, because then I'm just like, ugh, I wish you were Billy Eichner. But, in case you haven't watched my playthrough of it, I felt very certain the entire time that Billy Eichner should have been Soren. He seemed like a Billy Eichner character.
A little bit. But yeah. Soren. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna choose one. So,
okay.
Anya from Captive Curse.
Yes.
Which, again, some people might find this a little controversial. I like her because she has this, like, big sister role she takes with literally everyone. And I like that. That's a good, like, it's a good trait.
Yeah.
So that's why I like her as, like, a person. But I like the motive of literally hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, right? Like, it's a trope, yes, but it's a trope that I enjoy.
Just women getting revenge just for revenge's sake.
Yeah. Yeah. What I absolutely love about that is that she goes in and takes advantage of a bunch of superstitious locals just to ruin her ex-boyfriend and his business and all of his future business prospects. And I can respect her for that.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I see nothing wrong with this.
She tries to kill us. However, you know, we kind of gave her no choice.
Yeah, we drove her to it. She wasn't doing anyone any harm before we showed up.
Before we showed up. If we just let her alone, if we just left when she told us to leave.
We forced her to escalate it.
It's true. Our presence made everything worse. So, I'm not saying it's Nancy's fault, but it's kind of Nancy's fault.
It's kind of Nancy's fault.
But yeah, I like Anya's motive of it just being, you know, literally just here to ruin my ex-boyfriend.
I didn't want him back. I wanted to destroy him. Okay, man. All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it's just like, insert like the Arrested Development, good for her.
Yeah.
Of Lucille.
Yeah.
Good for her. Yeah. Ariana.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we moving on?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just gonna make my way down my list. Okay.
Yeah.
Sunny June. Don't argue with me, because we need to admit, as a group, as a fandom, we need to admit that he is the villain of Shattered Medallion.
It's true.
He kidnaps everyone, and he strands some people. There's a whole bunch of the crew that he has stranded. He has people shanghaied here so that he can make them do his bidding.
Yeah.
And nobody calls him on being the bad guy here. They're just like,
No.
oh, he's just a quirky man who he's just all fun and bubbly, and no, this is a bad trait for him to have. You guys, Sunny June is a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, a bit. He does kind of kidnap everyone.
And the whole world watches.
Yeah. And all of it is to look for aliens.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like that motive.
Decent motive. Yeah.
It is a decent motive.
Yeah.
It's like, but I mean, really, it's not even just looking for aliens. It's the idea of I'm trying to, like, he was just trying to, you know, really it's all about restoring his faith in his grandfather in a way. And that is, like, the real motive there.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And that's it's a touching.
Man, I am having trouble dealing with my grandfather's death. You know what?
He's not dead.
Kidnapping. No, yeah, he's dead.
No, he's not dead. He's not dead, Ariana. He just
Pretty sure he's dead.
No, he's not.
Then why do they say this stuff? Like, they talk about him in past tense, and he's, like, sad because he doesn't get to talk to him. And because
his whole family has, like, cut him off. His mom has cut him off and stuff, and they don't talk to him anymore. That's the whole thing. And they're trying to tell Sunny that it's like, no, he's just using you, and he's just, you know, kind of crazy. You need to just admit this and, like, carry on like the rest of us.
Sonny is an adult. Are you telling me he isn't able to see his other adult grandfather?
I mean, he's still being like...
No,
yeah.
I'm questioning this now. I've left the death thing behind. This idiot just can't figure out how to be an adult.
Yes.
And his first instinct is to take people hostage.
Yes.
I maintain.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I you know? Relatable.
Who hasn't had the moment of just going, well, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Guess I'll just kidnap an island full of people.
Yeah. Sonny's grandfather, who wrote the letter, is following a lead in the Nordic countries, while Sonny is here to follow another lead. So yeah, his mom, yeah. Yes.
No. I'm not, stop. I'm not questioning.
Iceland.
No, I know, but he's supposed to be he went up there. Sonny did.
Probably trying to find his grandfather.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay,
so what
moving on.
Is his grandfather just fucking John Winchestering it?
It's possible.
He's John Winchester. He's like, we gotta find Dad.
I mean, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. My next one. This is, again, I've said in the past I don't like this villain. However, so I recently replayed The Phantom of Venice, which I really hate the game quite a bit, especially, which you would know if you just watched my playthrough, that I did not enjoy it at all. However, I enjoyed Helena's motive, because her motive was literally, I know everything about the Macchiano crime ring, because I covered it in depth. I did all of these stories on it, so I know all the ins and outs of it. I know exactly how he did everything, and exactly how it fell through. So now that he's in prison, and no one is running a crime ring in Venice right now, I should just try to do it. See if I can. And that's her motive. It's just... she thinks, I think I could probably do it, so, let's try that out. And, you know, that's relatable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, who hasn't had that thought of, like,
planning out to committing a crime?
Yeah, just wondering if you could just, like, wanting to do it to see if you could get away with it. You know? I mean, maybe we're alone in this.
Maybe.
But it's relatable to us. So, and she would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that meddling kid in a cat suit.
That meddling teenager in a cat suit.
Yeah, which I just wore everywhere for a while. Just forgot I was wearing it. But yeah, I enjoy that motive as a motive. I mean, she's not a super interesting character, but the motive itself, yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
I think I can do this. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I'm gonna do
it's
it.
Just like, I wonder.
I think there need to be more people like Helena in the world.
I wonder what was her tipping point of just going, I'm just gonna reach out to these contacts and start a crime ring. Like, you know.
Like just one too many people. Like, the last straw for her, she was, like, driving in traffic somewhere, and somebody cut her off, and she went,
she's just like,
fuck it, I need power over this situation.
Exactly. You know what? Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. Okay, Ariana.
Okay. I have mentioned this villain a number of times. I feel like I went with like some of the most likable villains. Anyway,
and I went with all the unlikable villains. Right. It's fine.
But my next one is old man Joseph from from the final scene. who is just, he's an old man who's losing the like, one constant thing in his life. The theater is shutting down. It's the place he has always gone his entire life. It's the one thing he has left. He doesn't have his brother anymore. His life is falling apart.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe he's suffering from generalized old people disease.
Oh yeah, generalized old people disease.
You know, he's like sundowning.
Very serious condition.
It's I don't know. There's some old person problem going on. Well, because he's one of those characters that they just generalize. Like, this is your old man. Have fun. They're like, he's old. This is the only characteristic we give him. But no, he reacts very badly. And kidnaps a college student who just wanted to interview a Hollywood superstar.
As you do.
But yeah, he's just a child who the parents are like, okay, playdate's over, time to go home. And they go and like hide in their friend's laundry basket or something. And they think that somehow this will make the parent let them stay and play longer or something. They don't know how. They just don't want it to end. And so they think, oh, if I just do this, it won't end. And so he's like, no, if I just kidnap this girl and hide her in the building, they won't tear it down. It's fine. We're fine.
Obviously.
It's so distressing.
Oh yeah, it's very distressing. It's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was on our most heartbreaking characters list.
Probably.
Because it really is. It's yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's also just super unnerving as well.
It is super unnerving. Like, I lay into the sympathetic part, but he comes off, I would not be alone in a room with him. I don't care that he is old and I have superior strength. I am not being alone in a room with that old man.
No, definitely not.
No.
But that's kind of, what makes him a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's a good motive.
It is a good motive.
There's a reason for him to do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. It's not just, oh, I wanted that gold. Cough, Emily, cough.
I'm
still not clear entirely on her motive.
We just don't know.
Nor am I clear on, like, Andy Jason's motive. It's like, I wanted thing. So I taught Whale to get thing for me.
There was no explanation.
There's no explanation.
I love that game.
He just went from 0 to 60.
Yeah. He just knew how to train orcas. It's fine.
It's just like, oh, it's fine. I studied whales, so I know how to train orcas. That doesn't line up. But
I have a whale museum, so I know how to train orcas. Yeah.
But Joseph, we can definitely see his reasoning as hard to, like, understand as it is,
Yeah. It at least has, like, his logic is bad. It's bad logic,
mm-hmm.
but he has his own logic there.
Yeah. And it's clear and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring up one that is going to... Everyone's going to be like, Risa, what are you talking about? But hear me out. Dwayne Powers in Ransom of the Seven Ships, okay? So, preface this with, it's a bad game. They did all of this very badly. He's a bad villain. However, his motive is like A+. Because I really wish they had executed this better. Because as a motive, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Someone getting out of jail and is hell-bent on revenge against Nancy because she put them in jail.
Yeah.
That is an awesome motive. Right? And then planning all of that and all of the really creepy things that he does in the resort area,
mm-hmm.
like all the pins in the map of all the places where she's solved cases, and all of the newspapers with all stuff about her cases and stuff. Like, all of that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they ruined it with blackface.
They ruined it with blackface.
brown face.
They also...
But same issue.
Yeah. They also ruined it with it being somebody that nobody was going to remember.
No one remembered.
They didn't even bother to let Nancy remember.
Yeah, that was an issue.
Which I guess was sort of add insult to injury to him.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like, you ruined my life and you don't remember my name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it, obviously, none of us remembered Dwayne at that point. So it literally could have just been anyone.
Yeah. As I said in my, my, what is it, worst villains or something like that? Or no, whatever it is. It's, I put, one of my earliest ranking videos, I put together bad guys from, these games.
Yeah.
And that was my thing about Dwayne. It was just, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. But as an actual motive itself, it's good.
Yes.
Especially, and then and now I can prove that I was a really good actor to begin with. It's like, okay. That added in also makes it pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's like, you never even thought it was me, but it's like, she also couldn't remember who you were or what you looked like, but...
So it's like, hollow victory, man.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty easy to fool her if she doesn't remember you. But, Yeah. But yeah, it's a good motive. They did it really poorly. And I will say it's a bad game. Yeah. But it was a good motive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So my last one, and I actually think this might be one of my at least close to number one, is Renee from Legend of Crystal Skull. Because, oh my god, she's just this superstitious old lady who, like, you wonder how she got to this point in life. You wonder every step of her journey there. Because how did she go from, what choice did she make one day that led to her decision to leave a young woman to die so that she could run off and get away with her magic rock? It's astounding.
It is. It's like there was some whole domino effect somewhere in there.
Yeah.
One thing happened and everything just went tumbling down after.
Something tipped her over and she just kept plowing through.
Because it's amazing.
How do you get to that point in life? Like, what wrong turns do you have to take?
To gaslight an old man?
Yeah.
Yeah. To his death.
And then she, feels nothing about the death part. She's just like, oh yeah, I mean, oh my god, that happened. Yeah. It was a weird side effect, but it's fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like, no, it was going to happen anyway. He had the skull, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. He was always going to be murdered. It's fine. He had the skull. They're all murdered. Yeah, and so you wanted the skull?
Yeah, because it also...
Obviously.
Yeah, because a magic rock is definitely the best motive any of these villains have.
I mean, yeah, it's one of them.
I mean,
to be fair, I want a magic rock. But I wanted the magic rock.
It's like if she goes, yes, I killed a little boy named Jack but he had magic beans. Okay, it's fine. Because magic beans.
Yeah, exactly. My last one is Laurie Gerard, actually. So again, controversial pick right here. But I feel like her motive of everyone thinks I'm dumb, and I just want to prove them wrong is just kind of heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing, is that she's just been pigeonholed into this, you're the stupid girl.
Yeah, you're the dumb heiress.
Yeah, her whole life, and she just wants to it's just gotten her to this point where it's like, I don't want to be anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And then people are taking advantage of her because of it, like Charlena.
Mm-hmm. The one thing she does right, and somebody who already has plenty of respect takes it from
her. Exactly. So it's just like, she has all of these things. And I think, in my opinion, she probably would not have left Nancy to die in the end if Charlena hadn't stolen the story idea from her. I think it probably would have been a different ending.
Yeah.
It, that's what I think. But I think that just the whole, like, hitting that just breaking point of finally being like, I can't take it anymore, of everyone just thinking I'm this dumb and just putting me in this, like, category, and I just need to prove to them that I'm not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she, yes, uses Nancy to get to the ending, but she's smart enough to know that Nancy will figure it out, right? So really, it's like, she did figure it out. And I'm proud of her.
Yeah, she gathered her best resources.
She did.
Yeah.
Exactly. But, she did then leave us to die, so,
yeah.
In a cave-in and stuff, so,
Minus
to be
one.
fair. Yeah, that was, but, again, I blame Charlena for that.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have done that if Charlena hadn't stolen the story from her.
No. Charlene is a heartless bitch.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. So, yeah.
So those are our opinions.
Yeah, those are our favorite villain motives. Yeah. We'd love to hear your guys's. You can contact us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube,
this is all
and our
very
fancy
pointed.
website, Krolmeistersisters.knifefightclub.com.
You can also, finally, we've got Google Podcast, and
yes.
and we've got everything backed up on iTunes, and was there something else? Oh, Spotify. Yeah, you can find this on those things. You can leave us a nice little comment and or review, like the one we read at the beginning of the podcast, and maybe we'll read it.
Yeah,
share the love.
And as a reminder, you can subscribe to our Twitch so you can get access to our cute little wine glass emote. And if enough people subscribe, we can get a second emote, which I kind of want one that says Scopa.
Scopa.
Not gonna lie. And you can also support us on Patreon to get access to Podcast Night VODs, as well as you can suggest topics to us and we have to use them.
We have no choice.
We have no choice. So, as a reminder, I'm Risa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. And we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.